Hogan Gidley. Hogan, thanks as always. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Wyatt. Thanks for the time.
I want to start out, obviously, the fact that former President Trump didn't participate in last night's Republican debate was kind of overshadowing the entirety of the debate. The fact that all these candidates were there, but the vast majority of them aren't even in double digits as of right now. Instead, former President Trump opting in to do an interview with Tucker Carlson, the former Fox News anchor. A lot of people, though, are criticizing it, given some of the messaging coming from Team Trump and from Tucker Carlson himself, talking about the
Yeah,
number of viewers that participated. I was just talking with a media critic who was saying there is 200 million views of an interview of this nature is misleading, given how Twitter actually counts. Do you count? What was your reaction to some of the debate and the interview that took place?
yeah. Look, I think Donald Trump did the right thing here, and this is the way these election cycles work. I've done a lot of them now for 25 years. If you're high in the polls, you really don't want to debate that much. If you're low in the polls, you want every opportunity to get on that debate stage and plead your case and introduce yourself to the American people. And that's what we saw last night. A former president of the United States who's up 40 and 50 points in some polls doesn't need the same publicity, doesn't need the same platform to introduce himself or talk about policies he would do. He's already done them. Everybody else up on that stage says, hey, I promise if you elect me, I'll do exactly what Trump did. Well, Trump already did it. So they may, in fact, accomplish the things they're saying, but why would you risk the future of this country on a promise when you actually have a record of proven results for a different candidate? Now, again, I don't work for Trump. I'm just pointing out the differentiation here of someone who doesn't need to be on that debate stage. That being said, debates are really about creating moments. And then following up on that, if you do create a moment, can you turn that into momentum? And then following up on that, can you make a movement out of the thing and become the nominee and an eventual president? I didn't see anything on the debate stage last night that would allow someone to really break through. I don't know that anything said on that debate stage or not said on the debate stage is going to do anything to shake up this race. But the fact is, view it like a ladder. Climbing those rungs takes some time, and you're going to have to climb 50 rungs to get to the Trump ladder. So they're all going to ping off of each other. What I did find really interesting too was they all went after Vivek Ramaswamy, which tells me that Vivek's bump is real in the internal polling in all of the other candidates. They didn't really go after DeSantis very much. Pence came out of the gate firing at Vivek. Chris Christie, obviously, the wrecking ball did so as well. Of course, he's going to try and take out anybody and everybody he can. Nikki went after him too. They all pushed attack lines on Vivek. So it's a Southern euphemism, but one that's real, and that is it's the turkey with its head raised that gets shot. And so because he's up now and he's strutting around, he's the one that's going to take most of the incoming. It was a fascinating night for sure.
And of course, as you would know, just moments after the debate was over, all the campaigns were releasing statements claiming victory over the debate. Out of all the candidates that were there, was there one candidate, though, that kind of overshadowed the night and that took kind of the victory position? Because as you mentioned, Governor DeSantis was there. The polling averages in most cases show him as the leading candidate, but it didn't seem as if many of the candidates were wanting to go after him in the way that was perhaps expected.
Yeah, I think every candidate had a good moment and a bad moment. It looked like Vivek kind of evened out with more good than bad. DeSantis, I think, had some good moments, a couple of bad as well. Pence kind of was all over the place in some ways, coming out being much different than he had been in the past, kind of an attack dog on this. Nikki Haley scored some points when she went after Vivek on foreign policy. Chris Christie scored a point or two, and then Vivek just kind of shut him down really hardcore about his campaign of grievance and anger. That was a good line for Vivek too. So Burgum and Asa, pretty much non-factors. Burgum's a good guy, good governor. I don't think he is where the party base is, and Asa Hutchinson sure isn't where the party base is. So I think they're on their way out. And remember, I'm not afraid of people at 1%. I work for Mike Huckabee and Rick Santorum, both of whom ended up getting second place in the overall nominating process, but both started out at 1% or less. So that doesn't bother me. It's just they're not where the party is right now. And so I think there were a lot of winners last night. I do think Donald Trump, while not in the room, was still a winner because he looms so large over the entire process that you can't help but think, what was he doing? Why wasn't he there? And when the RNC and Fox tries to build a hot ticket event, the hottest candidate isn't there, it's kind of tough to do.